Hey guys, my name is Matthew, and today we're talking about Cursed, the book versus the Netflix TV series. Here we go. So I want to give a little bit of background about myself regarding Cursed. I knew about the book for a while. I'm not super into Arthurian legend, and so I decided not to approach it. We were browsing Netflix one night, and I kind of had the fantasy itch, and I decided to watch the TV series. The first few episodes of the series did not have me at all. I wasn't really into it at all. But then somewhere around episode 3 or 4, it kind of clicked for me, and I enjoyed the series. I didn't enjoy it as like a deep thing or even a super amazing twist on the Arthurian legend. I'm kind of actually approaching the series and enjoying it just as an interesting fantasy thing that kind of scratches a fantasy itch, as opposed to like a really well done show. Obviously, the CGI isn't great. The acting actually is a little subpar in some places, and overall, the show is mediocre, maybe, but I'm enjoying it. It's like a fun, like I said, it scratches an itch. It's just fun. I enjoy the show for what it is. And because I don't love Arthurian legend that much, I was a little hesitant to actually read the book. So this video is really going to be the most helpful for someone who's maybe just watched the show or is getting into the show. They kind of enjoy it, but they're not sure whether or not the book is worth it or not. This review has some spoilers in it. If you've read the book or watched part of the show already, then that'll be fine for you. If you're completely new to Cursed, this probably isn't the video for you because it will have some spoilers in it, some character names, things like that. I'm not going to go into any super depth. There aren't going to be any huge spoilers or anything, but there are enough that if you're not familiar with it, this isn't the video for you. So I came off of the show. I had just finished episode 10. Actually, I'd finished episode 9 when I started the book. And my first thought about this, having watched lots of TV shows and movies based on books and having read those books as well, I was surprised by how well the TV show mirrored the book. Some of the exact same dialogue is used. Some of the scenes are really scene for scene, like the exact same in the book as they were in the TV show, and I was actually really impressed by that and intrigued by how closely it followed. I think part of that was one of the authors, or maybe both of them, worked on the TV show as well, and they did a pretty good job of going scene for scene. What I was surprised by was actually, I was expecting there to be a lot more character depth in the book than there was in the show, and surprisingly there may actually be more character depth in the show. That's really saying something because there wasn't a lot of character depth for most characters in the show at all, and I think there was actually a bit more in the show than there was in the book. Overall, if you enjoyed the kind of mediocre fantasy scratching ability of the TV show Cursed, then you will probably also love the book as well. It's fast-paced, it's easy to read, and it really does follow the TV series pretty closely. There are a few changes that I thought I would talk about a little bit here. This is where spoilers start in just a little, so if you're not comfortable with those, now is definitely the time to leave. I was really surprised in the book when Kaze died. In the TV series, I really didn't feel like I related well with her. I didn't understand who she was or what her part was. In the book, her character is flushed out so much more, and I was shocked when she died because I was actually starting to enjoy her as a character, and I was really enjoying, kind of her development, and suddenly she was gone. And that is a major difference between the book and the series, is that Kaze dies in the book where she's actually been fleshed out and I've started to actually enjoy her, whereas in the series she plays more of a background role. I don't really understand her role, and then she sticks around. We still have time to develop her as a character. Another thing that surprised me, when I was watching the TV series, I remember I was actually talking to someone about it, and I said, yeah, wow, Pym, her whole arc in the TV series doesn't make sense to me, the way that it played out. And I said, wow, that must be something that when you get to the book, it's going to make a lot more sense. And they just took it and tried to adapt it to the TV show. But actually, in the book, it was better. And I was 100% wrong. In the book, there is no Pym. Her whole storyline is that she goes off to be a pirate and she disappears and we don't see anything else from her. And so that was something that really surprised me, is that we just never got to see her again. Whereas in the show, her arc feels weird and incomplete. In her book, it's even more incomplete. She's just gone. I have to say, in the book, I was hoping to hear more about the fisherman who tries to kill Merlin in the TV series. I was a little bit surprised that he doesn't even exist. It's interesting because I was really expecting there to be a lot more about the Shadow Lords and how do they kind of interact with the world and what does that mean? You know, who is his father? All these types of things, and none of that shows up. He's really an interesting, unfleshed out character in the series, but even more so in the book because he doesn't exist. Also, I knew Merlin was old. We hear that in the series, and it's clear that he's been around for a hot minute. I didn't realize he was 800 years old, though. That makes sense from Arthurian legend that he'd been around for a long time, but it was interesting to get a little bit more of that idea. We see more about who Merlin is in the books than we do in the series, which is different than most other characters. The last interesting thing that I thought reading the books versus the series themselves was that Nimue, who's kind of the main character, the protagonist, the book is titled Cursed, and in the book I think it's pretty clear that the curse is on Nimue herself, that Nimue is the one who's cursed. In the series I always got the interesting kind of concept that the curse was on the sword, that the curse was the issue, that the curse was the problem. Of course, in the book, both of those things play off of each other, and there's a combination of those two things. But I think the curse is so clearly on Nimue in the books, whereas in the TV series, it seems like it's more so on the sword. Overall, just to reiterate, I actually really enjoyed both the book and the series more than I thought they were. They really, apart from the fact that we have some characters who are familiar, Morgana and Arthur and potentially Nimue, this is not really a series about, you know, Arthur and the Round Table and things like that. We see a lot of characters from those legends, but for the most part, this is a totally standalone fantasy series that focuses more on the Fae and Nimue's interesting arc. They aren't superbly written, and it wasn't superbly acted, but the book and the series are both good. I enjoyed them. If you have already read the book and you're interested in the series, you might enjoy that too, as long as you come in with the right expectations. And if you've already seen the series and you're interested in the book, I think similarly, as long as you have the right expectations for the book, you should enjoy it. This has been my review, I guess, of the TV series and book Cursed. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to like and subscribe. And as always, stay safe out there.